All right, we're so honored to have Nik Michael Imran, celebrity chef, here with us this morning. Hi, Nick. How are you doing?
Good, thank you, and thank you so much for having me on the show. I think this is my first time having a con call radio online show. This
Really?
is the world is so different now.
It is, isn't it? I'm sure
Yeah.
New
it is
norm.
for the world of cooking as well. Everyone is a master chef now. Speaking of
I
master chef, yeah.
have you heard of the term quarantine got talent? So basically, people are just like doing an online reality show now, showing off with how and what they can cook.
Really? But I'm just like,
Yeah.
I've just been amazed with even my own social media and my own friends, how they've been churning out like, gourmet dishes that they've missed eating. And I'm like, wow, everyone knows how to cook now.
It's incredible. I love it.
Well, speaking of MasterChef, back in 2011, you were in MasterChef Malaysia. And after that, it has been a whirlwind for you, from hosting your own shows to running your own kitchen. How has that journey been for you since 2011?
Uh, I feel like now is the only moment that I've actually gotten to sit down and reflect on what has happened. I think it's been full speed ahead. The beauty of it was that I was given a platform for people to see me and gain a following, and it's been almost like a building a community of fans around me since then till today, where there's a lot of back and forth, there's a lot of support going on, there's a lot of chit chat about cooking and food and recipes. That it's been great, but at the same time, it's also the F&B industry that I've plunged myself into, and it's not an easy industry to live in. It's always hard work, hard work, hard work. So it's been full steam ahead up until today. So looking back now, I think I'm grateful for everything that I've had, the experiences that I've had, the doors that has been opened to me. I wouldn't have wished for it to come by any other way.
But what would you say was your biggest challenge though throughout that since 2011 until today?
It's really hard to say. I mean, it's been challenging for sure, but because I think me myself, I'm the type of person that pushes through everything. I'm the type of person that works really hard. So I'm not complaining about the hard hours that I've had to put in. Of course, it was tough, like especially doing running the restaurant. We're talking about like maybe 15, 16-hour days daily. We didn't have enough day at all. I didn't have enough day because I was the owner. So I think it was challenging, but I've no complaints about it whatsoever. It made me learn so much.
And the restaurant, I understand you no longer keep the restaurant, or?
No, when GST came about, I'm not blaming GST per se for the downfall of the restaurant, but I think the public's perception was really bad about GST. So what happened was I would have regulars that come in once a week, but because of GST, they still love the food, so they come in once a month. They're a bit scared of spending. So because of that, it happened for 3 months straight. Our revenue dropped by 75% easily. Yeah, so my dad was very sentimental. He wanted to keep it running, but I said, there's no point trying to suffer more losses just to be sentimental. So we pivoted and moved all our stuff and staff into a warehouse kitchen, and we started a production kitchen. So we started supplying other restaurants, other cafes, doing prep for them. We also continued our private catering, which was the core of the business. And then later on, I started opening up my own cafes in conjunction with Common Ground, the co-working space.
Mm,
And so it all worked out in the end, but we had to do that pivoting move.
mm, mm. How's
Yeah.
is that slightly easier now, like than running the restaurant, running a central
I
kitchen?
mean, it's a dream. The way it's run right now, I mean, before the whole MCO, it was a dream because for me and my employees as well, we are in the F&B industry, but we are focused on 9 to 5 schedule, Monday to Friday, and that's unheard of in the F&B industry. So it's a blessing again. Yeah.
Didn't you miss it slightly though? The hustle and bustle of the kitchen, like going crazy, and then you never know what's gonna happen.
No. No,
No.
because you see, running a restaurant is like, you're going against Murphy's Law. What can go wrong will go wrong at the worst time possible. It's like Friday night, 200 packs are there. Orders are in. They're all waiting for the food. That's when your stove breaks down. That's when your freezer breaks down. I don't miss that. It required a lot of tai chiing, those days. But what I do miss is the sense of being a superhero. And you get that. There is this moment when you're a chef, when you're a line cook, actually. And again, when there's like orders coming in, you can hear the printer printing the tickets, and you don't even have to look at it, and you know what the order is because you're so in the zone. You stacking your orders, you know which plate goes where, when to put in the garlic, and you don't even have to think about anything. Your hands are just moving. And usually this happens to me like for a burst of about an hour and a half, where I don't think, and it's just like zoo, 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 zoo. I miss that. That was incredible, but I don't have that anymore, and it's oh well.
But I mean, that is the dream for any chef, I guess, or any people in the F&B industry, is to own their own restaurant and be their own, be their own boss, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah, a lot of people look up to that the idea of running. I mean, even people that are not in the industry, they're like, I wish I would run my own cafe. But I think people that are in the industry long enough, they all know like the risk and the stuff that you need to do to get through it. And I'd say the enlightened ones are a bit more apprehensive to the idea.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds good,
yeah.
but it's like I said, it's hard work.
And you're living the dream right now of any
Yeah.
chef to be able to work from 9 to 5 only.
Yeah, me and my staff. Yeah, it's great. We get weekends off, public holidays off. It's it's
In
unheard
the
of. Yeah,
restaurant, that would be like the peak of where you're gonna be most busy, right?
exactly. Because we've pivoted to a way where we're working with offices, so we have to follow their schedules, right? I mean, sometimes we get catering gigs on the weekends and public holidays, so that takes off a bit of the boredom, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
But this is all before MCO. Right now, it's dry, man. Everyone's just like chilling, doing nothing.
What have you been doing at home, though? I'm sure you've been cooking up a storm at home as well.
Yes, I have. So my schedule has been more like, wake up, play with my kid, and then especially during Bulan Puasa, I start with the getting to know what's the menu for the day, going to the kitchen, see what we have, see what people want, and then planning the cooking schedule. I'd say preparing everything. If it's like a expensive menu, I spend anywhere from like 2 to 7 p.m. in the kitchen. If it's something simpler, maybe about 2 hours. And then we'd have a buka puasa, and then it's time to pray. We have our Maghrib, Isha, Traweh. And then once we're done, we chill with each other. I live with my in-laws, so I've got my brother-in-laws here, so we're pretty close. We usually play pool at night. With one of them, we've been playing since the first day of Puasa, so now the score is 10-9.
Wow.
He's catching up to me.
Very close.
And then once we're done with that, we have our more meal, which is usually normally it's like a light dessert to get the sugars in us. And then it's a gaming session with my friends, and then straight to bed. But I have to say, I've been cooking a lot. Like it's incredible. I think even though I've spent so much time in the kitchen, I think I've improved a lot of my dishes during this MCO because I've got to really have a lot of time to be precise with my cooking. From the techniques to the cutting to the whatever it is. I've had more time to look at it closely, and I've perfected, like I would say I've perfected quite a number of dishes during this MCO. It's great. Yeah.
So you have been cooking every meal for your family this whole Ramadan.
Almost. I'd say it's almost like work. I cook 5 days a week and then 2 days off.
So who
cook
on those 2 days?
So we have a helper, but I've seen, quarantine got talent. quite whoever that wants to cook will cook. Yeah.
Ah, interesting. Now, I know you're a father right now. Let's talk about fatherhood. Your daughter will be turning 2 this year. How has fatherhood been for you?
It's great. I love it. Um, my daughter is a dream to take care of. She has been quite easy. We've been blessed. Um, when we found out that my wife was pregnant, it was a whirlwind of emotions for both of us. But the day she came, I did not expect to see myself crying. I mean, even my wife was like, "No, no way, really?" And I just dove right into it. Like during the confinement period, I took time off from work and I basically handled my wife's food the whole time. And when it came to the baby, I think one thing that saved us our sanity was breaking up the time to take care of the baby. So what I would do is from 11 p.m. all the way up to like 5 a.m., 6 a.m., I would stay up and take care of the baby so she can sleep. And then she takes care of the baby from morning to like noon. And then I wake up, get her lunch, and then if the confinement lady can't take care of the baby, I'll take over. So it's like a block of time that each of us
Shift.
Tag
that
team.
helped
Yeah,
us.
the
Yeah,
tag team.
yeah, essentially.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really enjoyed having a kid come into this world and taking care of her, and it's been great up till today. I mean, I think she favors her mom a little bit more than me,
I was just
but
gonna
I'm
ask you, is Rumi a daddy's girl or a mommy's girl? Normally it's
definitely daddy's
daddy's girl,
girl.
right?
Like, yeah, for sure.
And I'm
But I
sure you
think,
spoil her more.
ooh, no, no, maybe I don't know. Like I said, I live with my in-laws, so she's got tons of people to spoil her. It's incredible to see such a small, tiny human being be the center of the house. Like everyone just revolves around her.
That
Yeah.
happens. But the big question here is she a little foodie? Does she love your cooking?
Um, Not too bad. I mean, I think it's better than a lot of kids that I see out there in the sense that, she's not picky per se, but sometimes you just don't know why she doesn't like something. Like yesterday it would be okay, today she's like spitting it out.
Mm.
Yeah. But she started eating when she was I think 5.5 months old. So pretty early on, the doctor gave a green light. And she was like going ham on the different ingredients. She was eating like avocados. She was eating beetroot. I mean, things that even my wife doesn't like to eat. So pretty adventurous foodie, I'd say for now.
How's
Okay.
it changed you as a chef, though, fatherhood? I mean, like now that you're cooking for your kid as well, you're like, oh, maybe I should put healthier options. Maybe it should be this. Maybe it should be that.
On the contrary, it's not like I think about it in a way where I have to become healthier and think healthily about the food. It's more of it opened up the spectrum of understanding what food suits kids. So I had to study a little bit and understand like basically kids can't take a lot of salt. You should cut down on the seasoning, focus on more natural foods. But although it's now it sounds like it makes sense, but I had to actually understand that and read up on that.
Mhm.
But otherwise, yeah, it's pretty much like I I'm a firm believer of the kid. You gotta welcome the kid into your life and not fit yourself into the kid's life.
Mm.
So for me,
Ah,
it's not like not trying to change things to fit the kid, but trying to see what the kid can eat that we eat, pretty much.
So you don't go above and beyond and cook her something else and then cook the family something else. So she just eats whatever the family eats.
I try not to. My wife has a different idea, but I try not to. She's all like organic sweet potatoes, okay? And for me, I'm like, Allah, give lah sambal belacan, let her taste the chili. So yeah, I mean, I guess it's exciting for my kid. Yeah,
Has she tasted sambal belacan?
yeah, she has.
Yes. And she's
Yeah.
okay with it?
Oh, the the emotion she went through, man, it's really funny. Uh, yeah, I really like, for me, I don't give excessive amounts, but I let her taste like
Mm.
spicy stuff. You can see her like, try to spit it out and ask for water and go. It's a really funny thing to see. Yeah.
It's an experiment for you as well, right?
No, because I have a large age gap with my youngest sibling. She
Okay.
is 20 years younger than me.
Oh, okay.
So can you imagine when she was born and growing up, I was like 20, 21. So I was like, yeah, man, let's do this. Give some of that and turns out she loved it. So, and it's not that much of a gap with my daughter itself. It's only like a 10-year gap. So uh, it's not like something new lah. Giving
So you've
bullying
that's why you
kids
took to
actually.
fatherhood so easily, because you've already been sort of like a father to your
Yeah,
sibling. Yeah.
precisely. Yeah.
Now let's talk about Raya. With it being around the corner and it's CMCO, how will you be celebrating it this year?
I think it's up in the air right now. We're not really decided on what we're going to do. There's no definitive decision yet. But I think we're all leaning towards staying home. I think we're not going to be leaving even to visit our close ones. We will be probably FaceTiming, but that's it. Even going to the cemetery is like we're a bit iffy. So it sucks. It's a bit different. We can't do the things we want to do. But I guess the cool thing is that for me, we live in a house with a big family, so it's not so bad. But otherwise, in terms of baju raya, there's also the question of should we get new baju raya? Should we raya with kain pelikat? Yeah, I'm of the team that I want to get baju raya. I want to be, especially with my daughter again, I want to be matching with her.
Oh.
But we'll see. We still have a few more days.
Yeah. It's a few more days, really. You should make a decision soon.
Yeah, it's too late to order anything like pre-order online, but there are some companies doing like same day delivery things. So we'll see. I've got my eye on a couple of brands. We'll
okay. But what were Raya celebrations like in your family pre?
I think it's pre-COVID-19. Well, of course, now that I'm married, we spent a year with my dad and then another year with my in-laws. It will always be waking up early in the morning and then going for Semayang Raya for sure. After Semayang Raya, we get back home. We have that first breakfast, which is also good. I mean, after 30 days of no breakfast, right? Having lemang and rendang on the table is an experience. And then what we'll do is we'll gather everyone around and with our full baju Melayu, perfume, the full shebang, and we'll line up and basically salam from the eldest to the youngest. Sometimes it's dramatic, sometimes it's emotional, sometimes it's funny, but it's always good fun. You'll hear like people laughing, and then on the other side you hear people sobbing, asking for forgiveness. It's great. And then we'll all take a family photo. So it'd probably be on a main couch in the house. Plant a camera, squeeze in everybody, maybe even a video to wish Selamat Hari Raya so that everyone can post on their social media, of course.
So now it's going to be different though.
Now, yeah, man. Now,
I think the question here is also, have you ever cooked for Raya? Like, do you always cook for Raya?
Of course I have. Normally with my dad, With my dad, what we do is we would cook. We would stand by, because we're both chefs, right? And people would come over to the house. And everyone's asking for like, hey, where's your rendang? I want this your rendang. And we don't do that. What we do is we have like a pantry of food standby for people that when they come. Everything's kept fresh. And the dish of choice is usually spaghetti goreng mama. So we have like al dente boiled spaghetti standby, freshly shucked prawns on standby. They're all kept cold. We have the paste all blended up. So the moment people come, it's just like, okay, I'm going to get the wok on the heat now, and then just put everything on. So you have like a fresh batch for every family that comes, or every visitor that comes. And that way people can say, oh, I tasted his cooking. He cooked for me. So everybody wins.
But no rendang.
No rendang, no. Because, I mean, even for me, like, I don't tell this to people, but whenever I go to every house, it's always like, hey, how's my rendang sedap tak? And for me, like, they all more or less taste the same, you know? And every time through my teeth, I have to say, this is the best rendang I've had this Raya, man. Thank you. You know? But rendang is rendang. I love rendang. We all want rendang for Raya, but it's not something you compare from house to house. I mean, there might be little differences, little nuances, but they're all good.
But
But is it the best though?
do you make a killer rendang?
Can you?
I would say, yeah. Um, I mean, of course, with every other dish as well, I experiment and toy with it, right?
Yeah.
So with rendang, I've done several experiments, and I found that I've been able to tweak it with short ribs, and they are incredible. They're so
Wow.
good.
Short
Yeah,
ribs.
Short ribs
short
rendang.
rib rendang. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Dude, post-COVID, I am coming over.
It takes about 72 hours to cook, though.
Whoa.
Yeah, so
But
it's not like
yeah,
uh,
as a
it's not like
professional,
a pre-order thing, lah. Yeah.
yeah, as a professional chef, what would you say is your favorite dish during Raya to eat?
There is a dish that I would not get bored of during Raya. Like every house, if they have it, I look for the complete set,
Mm.
and I would have it. I think I've had it like maybe 4 or 5 times a day. It is the lontong with the
Oh.
nasi impit, the kuah kacang, sambal sotong, and
Oh.
maybe even some rendang. Like for me, is that mixture?
Combination.
Oh
Yeah.
my
The
goodness!
Holy Trinity.
It's the trifecta, man, or the quadrifecta. Yeah, it's so good. I would go crazy for, especially if you have normal rendang, normal lontong. Sorry, they wouldn't really have like every piece of it on other days, but because it's Raya, there's always like some kuah kacang with the nasi impit.
Yeah.
There's always
This
some
lontong
sambal
on
sotong from like
steroids.
nasi lemak. Yeah, so it's putting that. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that would be it.
No kuih. I was expecting like wajik dan dodol and this and that.
No, man. I mean, those I love them, but they are really hard to come by and really hard to come by when it's good quality. A lot of people just buy again. I mean, growing up with a huge family, my dad has 16 siblings. So balik kampung Perak dulu, we would have like all this stuff like gotong royong, bakar kambing, and kacau dodol sekali. So nothing can beat that lah. It's more of a dream. If I find it, I love it, but it's not something I'm a realist lah. I don't look for it. To expect it to be around is stuff lah.
Well, it's going to be a different Raya for everybody this year, I think. What would you suggest to home cooks cooking for just a few people at home? To like, what are some of the compulsory dishes that they should cook for Raya?
Compulsory.
Compulsory.
Of course, rendang lah. Of course, rendang. But I think the real opinion here is for you to support your local businesses around you and order in food from them. People that you've worked with before, or restaurants that you are comfortable with, that you're regular at, support them and see what they have for Raya. That makes it easy for you, but you got to spend a bit of money lah.
Yeah.
But if you want to go down the authentic route, I think people should try lemang. I really believe that, like that you can go on like Lazada and Shopee and buy lemang, the bulo. They will deliver it to your house. You can still do that. So getting down pisang and then your pulo and your santan, building a charcoal pit, rotating it, maybe taking turns. I think that would be an incredible thing to see and experience.
Oh, interesting.
Making your
We should
lemang,
start a
If someone
lemang
stays in a
challenge.
studio apartment, maybe not so much like that.
Well, there are ways you can cook it, maybe even in the oven. You can pre-cook the pulo. I mean that experiment. For me, having your own made lemang on the table pagi raya, that'd be pretty cool.
Interesting. The lemang
Yeah.
challenge, right?
Yeah.
Lemang Raya challenge. Should start that. Maybe you can post something up on your social media and
I will be
get people-
experimenting.
Yeah, and
for
get
sure,
people to
yeah.
try making lemang.
No, because you see
our
right now
lemang.
during this whole COVID-19 virus going around, I think the biggest risk of since we're all staying home, right? The biggest risk of transmission is through food. We don't know who's handling our food and if they're positive or not. Of course, it doesn't transfer through food, but the surface of things that's being passed around always needs to be disinfected again and again and again. So someone might make a mistake somewhere, someone might not know that they have this the virus and are asymptomatic. So it's something we have to be careful about. So hence why I say work with your regular cafes, your regular local F&B operators that you trust, and hopefully that will reduce the risk. But also uh, things like lemang, they're mass produced. So if you can go and pick it up and see it's hot and fresh and you hang on to it, great. At least you can secure that risk. Or else, you don't know who's handling it.
Mm.
Especially with like delivery partners. It's just trying to reduce the risk. I'm not saying do not, but just be careful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Nik, what do you have planned moving forward? Like, what will be the new norm for you and your business?
I'm still trying to figure that out. That is a tough question. I have to say the business is bad. People are not spending money. People are not going out. So it's bad for the F&B industry. I think, everyone has to pivot to delivery services, but it's also trying to navigate this new world of trying to market online, trying to get people to order. I think that's the biggest challenge for me personally at the moment. I'm not a fan of like using my celebrityness and trying to use that name to market as well. I think they've got to go separately. Uh, I can't
Speaking
really
of that,
market.
Bel,
Mm,
are you still doing any more shows? Doesn't I mean the new norm? Maybe that
mm.
might be it. Doing more TV shows and stuff.
So in a sense, I'm grateful in that sense. I still have like you guys trying to interview me, which is great. I've been dabbling and learning new skills, trying to produce my own content with some clients. So that's also great. There have been no news on shows though. I think like the old kind of shows are not going to be around anymore. It's all short form online content at
Yeah.
the moment.
Because I
And
think TV production is also halted for a while. TV and film
mm,
production at this moment is also halted. Yeah.
precisely, yeah. Um, even TV shows and TV deals with say clients are all pivoting towards online platforms and online content at the moment. Like they've agreed on a TV show. This happens, so like okay, we'll just get the celebrities to come up with their own video.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
it's I think yeah, that's definitely the new normal. But in terms of like F&B business, times are tough, no doubt about it. I mean, there's not enough money to go around to even upkeep salaries. So it's not a great time. Uh, it's gonna be interesting to see what's the new normal for that. In terms of the celebrity side of it, I think I'll be seeing a lot more myself learning new ways to create content. I mean, it's been great fun. It's not easy.
Yeah.
It's been something that I've always wanted to do. So it's a good thing that now I have the time to do it.
Mm.
Yeah, learning how to edit videos and transition the
Right.
video and write text on it. It'd be great.
And like you said, perfecting your recipes, right? And finding new fusion recipes, experimenting.
Well, if you've seen my work throughout this time, I'm the type of person that likes to go down the classic route. I don't really. There's a saying that confusion and fusion is just like a small, tiny difference. And what I believe in fusion is truly taking like strong, classic, great recipes and making a tweak to maybe one or two ingredients only. And to me, that is enough fusion. You don't really have to combine too many things.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, like perfecting the recipes is what I've been doing on my personal time. But every time that I've perfected a recipe, tweaking little things, making, it's normally just like a small, tiny thing that makes it great. Just like maybe using more heat or controlling your salt. It's usually that, and that is what I've been doing most of the time. So I'm compiling like all these little tips and techniques and recipes that I've got it down, and the moment I'm able to produce quality content, like proper videography, proper editing, I will share it with the world. But at the same time, I do have a portal that runs, we call it Batik Kicap. What it is a definitive guide to like local food. And during this MCO, our numbers have been going mad. I think we've reached 1.75 million views a
Wow.
month.
Wow.
Yeah, it's incredible. Yeah, I mean, it's great in the sense that, you know, we're getting a lot of views, but it also sucks that we required a pandemic to get this much. But it's been
Yeah.
a good rate of growth lah from the start.
Mm.
I think before this was like 1.5 million views, so it's good increase.
All right. Now, lastly, Nik, what is your message to all Malaysians this Hari Raya?
Stay safe and sane. Whatever it is, you know, I don't know what people are going through. I do know that this Raya will be extremely different, but whatever it is, you know, just stay safe. Try to stay home. Try to stay safe from this deadly disease, and at the same time, try to stay sane with your family, lah. You know, we know how hard that can get sometimes. People sometimes go through a tough time with family, so do your best to stay safe, but also stay sane.